Hello, this is Dr. D, and I am going to go over the heart and blood vessel model pictures that you absolutely have to know for your lab. Now, first and foremost, you need to know that when you're studying for lab, you're also studying for lecture and vice versa. So here we go, okay? Here is the front picture of the heart with the labelings. Start off with the aortic arch and the three branches that it goes. Brachiocephalic trunk, left common carotid, left subclavian artery. This is the ascending arch and the descending aorta. Here you should see this says ligamentum arteriosum, but we are going to study it as ductus arteriosus. All right. Now here is the pulmonary trunk that divides into the left and the right pulmonary artery. We know this, yes? We also know as the right atrium, the left atrium, the right ventricle, and the left ventricle. Now the overlapping stuff which is beyond is called the auricle. Now here what we also notice is that the heart has its own blood supply. And so on the right side, we'll see the right coronary artery, and here we'll see the left coronary artery in the front. As soon as the left coronary artery comes, it divides into the anterior interventricular artery and the circumflex artery, very clearly marked, right? We see this. Okay. Returning the blood, you should also see the pulmonary vein. I'll have better picture of that. All right. Now, what else are we missing? Okay. Accompanying this, now remember, if you are taking the blood to the parts of the heart, you have to return the blood. So here is the great cardiac vein in here. All right. So, all right, let's go on further. Returning the blood, you should have the superior vena cava in here. And what drains into the superior vena cava? We have the brachiocephalic veins, from the right as well as from the left, right? Okay, now here is the heart model that we have in the lab with the same labelings. I'm trying to show you all the heart models that are available in the lab so that you have a better picture and an idea. All right, do you see the ductus arteriosus in here? Here is a remnant of what existed in the fetal heart. All right, so make sure you look at the video. Now here's another model, same thing with the labelings. All right, so make sure you look at this too. All right, and here is another model. All right, so I'm just trying to show you all the different models so you will get the clear picture of the heart model, because remember, on your test I can have any labeling, right? Now these are review points for you that you can, once you study this, that you can answer these, and I have also given you the answers to the reviews. So try to answer the questions to the best that you possibly can. Now here's the back picture of the same heart model that we have in the lab. Here is the descending aorta. You see the aorta arch comes, and you should see these three branches going off, and here's the descending aorta. All right. What do we see? Here's the great cardiac vein, and it opens up into this big cavity which is called the coronary sinus. By the way, coronary sinus is my favorite labeling to ask. I'm letting you know that. Here, remember we talked about the superior vena cava, which I cannot see in this picture, but you can see in the previous picture. But here is the inferior vena cava. Inferior vena cava is collecting the blood from the parts of the heart that are below the heart. All right, like say for example the liver, below the heart, right? So it collects the blood from the parts of the body below the heart. Now here is the middle cardiac vein, and here is the right pulmonary vein. All right, so here, now let's go on further. All right, here's another model, same thing with the back picture of the heart. All right, so here is the inferior vena cava, pulmonary vein. This is the pulmonary artery, as you can see. Here's the superior vena cava. You can see it in this picture. This is the descending aorta, as well as the great cardiac vein, which is opening up into the what? My favorite, coronary sinus. All right. Again, these are review questions that you should be able to answer by now. And here are the review answers. All right, here's a picture of the right hand side of the heart. So I twisted the heart on the right hand side and took a picture. So here you can see the superior vena cava, the right atrium. Here is the small cardiac vein, inferior vena cava, the right coronary artery. Remember we talked about the right and the left coronary artery, and here are the marginal branches of the coronary artery. All right, so here is again the review questions with the review answers as always. And now this is a picture of the left side of the heart. Now can you see the ductus arteriosus more clearly? So here is what? Here is the descending aorta. Here's the aortic arch and the descending aorta going down, as you can see, with the three branches. Remember we talked about these three branches. Here's the pulmonary trunk. And remember, it divides into what? Into the right and the left pulmonary artery, going to the right and left lung, right? Here's the pulmonary vein, bringing the blood back into the heart from the lungs, descending aorta. Remember, we talked about the great cardiac vein, which goes around. And here's the circumflex artery. You remember the circumflex artery? Or the circumflex branch of the left coronary artery. So it's going around like this. You see this? Again, review questions with review answers for you. Now here I've opened up the heart, okay, on the right hand side and taken a picture from top. What do we see? Here's the aortic arch, right? And aortic arch, and here you see the superior vena cava, right? And this is the brachiocephalic, the right and the left vein, bringing the blood back, right? Now, what do we see? Here we see the pectinate muscles. Now, here is this labeling is the sinoatrial node, the SA node. All right. What is this? Is the orifice of the inferior vena cava. Here's the fossa ovalis. This is the AV node, SA node, the AV node. These are the two what? Pacemakers of the heart, right? And here's the opening of the coronary sinus. All right, now I've opened up the heart and taken the front of the, this is the front picture of the heart, and I opened up the heart, all right? So I'm not going to go over the other labelings. I'm interested in this. I'm interested in the tricuspid valve and the bicuspid valve. And what do you see? Do you see these fiber-likes? These are structures that are called a chorda tendineae. The chorda tendineae hold down the valve. I have better pictures, and they are anchored onto these finger-like muscles of the heart, and these are called what? Papillary muscles. I have better pictures. Wait. Here is the, I liked this model picture because the bundle of His is very clearly marked. You see this? Here's the right bundle of His and the left bundle of His, and it goes to the apex of the heart and branches out, and these branches go to the ventricular walls, and these are called the Purkinje fibers. That's why I liked this model picture. All right, I like this picture model because you can see the tricuspid and the bicuspid. Bi means what? Two. You see these two bicuspid valve. Now what do you see? These finger-like structures called the chorda tendineae and very clearly marked papillary muscle. Notice papillary muscle comes from the word papilla. So you can clearly see the papillary muscle. And of course you see the left and the right ventricle. You see this, yes? All right, so here I have opened up the right side of the heart, yeah? And I've taken this picture to show you the tricuspid. Here is the, remember we talked about the right coronary artery. And what do we also see? We see the semilunar valve, all right? So here from the right, you are going to go into the pulmonary trunk. So this is called semilunar valve, also called the pulmonary valve, all right? So here is the tricuspid valve. Here is the chorda tendineae, right? And here is the papillary muscle. Not so well marked in here. I can see better papillary muscle in this model. Yeah. Okay. So here you can see also the right bundle of His. So you see this goes down to the apex and comes up as what? Purkinje fibers. Yeah. The other labelings, you can look at those. I've opened up this part of the heart and you can see the semilunar valves, the tricuspid valve, chorda tendineae, you can see very well, opening of the coronary sinus, fossa ovalis, and of course this is the right atrium, right? And here's the superior vena cava, bringing the blood back from the top of the heart. All right, or structures on above the heart. Now here is again review questions for you, and here are the review answers. I've opened up the left side of the heart. You can see the ductus arteriosus. Okay, these are my favorite question. Ductus arteriosus is one of my favorite question. Now you can also see again the bicuspid valve, and the bicuspid valve you can see the chorda tendineae, papillary muscles, Purkinje fibers. Remember, this is the left branch of the bundle of His, right? You can see the pulmonary trunk, and you can also see the branches in here, all right, from the aortic arch. I've opened up also the left side of the heart to show you the same thing that I've shown before, but you can also see the bicuspid valve or the mitral valve, all right? So remember, from here the blood is going to go into what? Into the aorta, right? So this is the bicuspid valve is the mitral valve, and here is the semilunar valve or the aortic valve, right? So the blood will go from here into the aorta. All right, here review questions for you and the review answers for you. All right, I'm going to stop here because I'm going to go on to the next part in my next slide. All right.